Namaste everyone. Welcome to PYF, Presha Yoga Fit, and I am Presha. This practice is themed Beginner's Flow, which essentially means that if you're new to a Vinyasa-style yoga class, then this is where you can start from. We've tried to make the flow a little easier and accessible to someone who's new to this style of class. So roll out your mat and let's get started. Let's begin in a tabletop shape, bringing our hands under the shoulders and the knees under the hips. We are going to curl the toes behind us, keep the neck aligned with the spine. Draw the belly slightly in. Then with the next inhale, we're going to come into the traditional cat and cow stretch. Let's take an inhale, arch the back, lift the tailbone, and we're going to push the chest forward. And exhale, round your spine and bring your chin to your chest. Again, inhale, arch your back. Exhale, round, press the floor away. Inhale, arch, and exhale, round. One more time. Inhale to arch, tailbone is lifting up, the belly is dropping, and you're pushing the chest forward through the gateway of your shoulders. With an exhale, we are pressing the floor away and rounding the spine as we bring the chin to the chest. Then we come back to center with the next inhale. And with an exhale, we're going to go into our first downward facing dog pose. So please lift your knees and hips up. And keep your knees a little bent in that downward dog. But you want to press strongly through your hands into the mat. Then inhale in downward facing dog through the nose. With an exhale, we're going to slowly rock forward to a high plank pose as we stack the shoulders over the wrists. And we are pressing the floor away, drawing the belly in. Inhale in high plank pose. Exhale, go back to downward dog. Again, you can keep your knees slightly bent. Inhale in downward facing dog. Exhale, rock forward to a plank. Press the floor away. Inhale in plank. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Then inhale in downward facing dog. With an exhale, drop the knees down onto the mat. Step your right foot forward between the thumbs. Come on your fingertips. Take your gaze forward. Inhale, reach your arms up to a low lunge. While you're taking the low lunge, keep sending the right hip back and keep pushing the left hip forward. Good. Take another inhale in low lunge pose. With an exhale, we're going to frame the fingers forward and step the left foot forward. Place your hands on the shins. Inhale to lengthen. So when you lengthen, make sure your torso and your spine is parallel to the floor. And with an exhale, bend your knees a little bit and fold. Now with the next inhale, imagine I had pressed a slow motion button and you're going to, in slow motion, roll the spine up one vertebra at a time. Great. Once you reach all the way up, make sure that your feet are stacked under your hips. You're standing and growing tall through your upper body and rooting down through your feet. With an inhale, sweep your arms up. Gaze to your thumbs. Exhale, diving with your fingers down as we bend into the knees, forward fold. With an inhale, lengthen, flat back. Place your hands on your shins. And with an exhale, frame the fingers down and step your right foot back, bring the right knee down. With an inhale, reach your arms up to a low lunge. Exhale, frame the hands down and step back to a downward facing dog. Pressing the floor with your hands, inhale in downward facing dog. Exhale, we're going to rock forward to a high plank as we stack the shoulders over the wrists. Again, please press the floor away. Inhale in high plank pose. And with an exhale, lower the knees down. Just make sure your knees are not right under your hips. You can see that they are slightly to the back. And when we go down now on the mat, we're going to hug the elbows in, bending into the elbows, and take control of this movement. So don't suddenly go down. Take your time to slowly use the strength of your arms and your core in order to bring yourself all the way down. We're going to take a back bend now, so extend your arms back, fingers pointing back, and turn your palms facing to your body, and lift your arms slightly off the mat. Next inhale, lift your forehead and your chest up, and then also lift your legs up. Squeeze your inner thighs together and squeeze your glutes, locust pose. Good. Again, inhale in locust pose. And exhale, we're going to bring the hands next to the chest. We're going to lift ourselves up, come onto our knees. And from here, take your time, curl your toes and bring yourself into a downward facing dog. Good. Take an inhale through the nose in downward dog. With an exhale, bring your knees down onto the mat again. Now step your left foot forward between the hands. Gaze forward, come on your fingertips. Inhale, reach your arms up to a low lunge. As you send your left hip back and you keep pushing your right hip forward. Good. Inhale in low lunge. Exhale, frame the fingers forward and step your right foot forward. Inhale, lengthen halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold, bending into your knees. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart center and release your arms to the sides. Good. Since this is a Vinyasa-style class, we keep moving with the breath. Okay? Let's go again. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale to fold, bending into your knees. Place your hands on your shins. Inhale, lengthen. This time, exhale, frame the fingers down. Take a step back with your left foot. Bring the left knee down. Gaze forward. Inhale, reach your arms up to a low lunge. Again, keep sending the right hip back and keep pushing your left hip forward. With an exhale, frame the hands down and step the right foot back to a downward facing dog. So you want to keep pushing into the floor and the mat with your hands. The hands are pushing the mat forward. The feet are pulling the mat back. Inhale in downward facing dog. Exhale, rock forward to a plank pose, shoulders over your wrists. Again, don't sag your hips this way. You want to keep those hips hoisted a little bit. So you draw the belly in and you press the floor away. Inhale in high plank pose. Exhale, lower the knees and slowly lower down with control. Elbows bent and they're hugging into the sides of the body. Good. Now, this time we're going to take a different back bend. So we're keeping those hands in line with the chest. We're going to lift up into a baby cobra pose. Next inhale, lift your forehead and your chest up into a baby cobra. Now in order to use not just the strength of your hands pressing into the mat, but using the strength of your lats, we're going to lift the hands and hover them an inch or so off the mat. And you're going to try and lift your chest up a little bit more. Just make sure your shoulders are not shrugging, so keep your shoulders away. Pull your chest forward. Inhale in cobra pose, which is modified. And exhale, go to downward facing dog. Good job. Now, inhale through the nose in downward dog. Exhale through the mouth. Next inhale, we're going to sweep and lift the right leg up. Stretch the right leg up to a three-legged dog. With an exhale, we're going to step the right foot between the hands and bring the left knee down. As we come on the fingertips, gaze is going forward. Let's take an inhale to stretch the arms up to a low lunge again. Then exhale, frame the hands down. So frame the fingertips down and lift your left knee up. Stay with the gaze forward. Then take an inhale, reach your arms up to a high lunge. Sink into the front right knee a little bit. Stay here, inhale in high lunge pose. Exhale, we're going to hold the waist with the hands and we're going to spin the left foot down on the mat. We're going to turn with the upper body facing to the left side. Now the back foot is going to come in a 90-degree angle, which simply means that it's parallel to the back or the front edge of the mat. The right foot or the front foot right now is facing with the toes pointing forward. The chest, the shoulders, and the hip front points are facing to the left. Now you're going to take an inhale, reach your arms out, palms facing down. Relax your shoulders, spread into your shoulder blades. Good. Take your gaze beyond your right hand. And from here, we're going to bend into the right knee, taking a warrior two. Now in warrior two, just make sure both your front, these two hip points are on one level. What you could do is just briefly place your fingers on the front 2 points and make sure if your level of your hip is down, then you're going to bring it on one level and then again reach your arms out. Good job. Let's keep extending those arms and keep taking the gaze beyond the right hand. Breathe into your pose. Inhale in warrior two. And with an exhale, we're going to extend the right leg back, bring the hands back on the waist. Perfect. Now we're going to go into a triangle pose. So back to inhale, reach your arms out. Then with an exhale, you're going to hinge forward as if you were reaching for something. Then bring your right hand and you can hover it in front of the right shin and extend your left arm up. The other option is to also hold on to your right shin. However, there's a tendency of us leaning into the right leg and putting all our weight there. So you can also hover the hand and keep your gaze up. Good. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Inhale in triangle. And with an exhale, look down, frame both your fingers down, and step your left foot forward. Inhale to lengthen, hands on your shins, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center and release your arms. Great job. Let's do that sequence one more time. With an inhale, reach your arms up. Just a little bit of change though in the beginning of the sequence, okay? Exhale to fold. Inhale to lengthen, flat back. With an exhale, we're stepping back to a downward facing dog. Inhale in downward facing dog. Exhale, rock forward to a plank. Pressing the floor away, draw the belly button into the spine. Inhale in plank pose. Exhale, please lower the knees, bending into your elbows, hug the elbows in, and slowly lower down with control. We're going to take a cobra pose this time, so untuck your toes. The last time we took a baby cobra, so we're going to try and lift up slightly higher than before. With your hands next to your chest and elbows still hugging in. So remember the last time we took a baby cobra, we modified it by lifting the hands an inch off the floor. This time we're going to keep the hands down. Let's take an inhale, lift the forehead and the chest, and slightly lift a little higher. But keep everything the same, so don't shrug your shoulders, keep them down, and keep pushing your chest forward. Squeeze your glutes, inhale in cobra. Exhale, go to downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your left leg up to a three-legged dog. Exhale, step your left foot forward between the hands and bring your right knee down. Please come on your fingertips and take the gaze forward on the mat or the floor. With an inhale, stretch your arms up to a low lunge. Exhale, frame the fingers down and lift your right knee up. Gaze forward again. Inhale, sweep your arms up to a high lunge. Sink into that front leg, front knee. Good. With an exhale, we're going to bring the hands onto the waist. We will spin the right foot down into a 90-degree angle. So it's parallel to the back or the front of the mat. With the front or the left foot, it's going to be pointing to now what would be the front of the mat for you. With your chest rotated, arm to the right. Okay, I have turned this way so that I'm visible to the screen. So the shoulders and your hips are opened, and now you're going to reach both your arms out, palms facing down, and your arms are parallel to the floor. Please make sure again your hips are in one level. Then with an exhale, bend into your left knee and go to warrior two. Just to recheck our alignment, we're going to just gently touch the front of the hips and make sure both the hip points are on one level. Arms extended out. Great. Inhale in warrior two. Exhale, hands back on the waist, and we stay the same with the legs. We're going to go into a triangle pose now. So inhale, reach your arms out again. Exhale, hinge forward as if you were reaching for something. Then your left hand can hover and reach your right arm up. Good. If you're squeezing with your torso here, avoid that. Keep it nice and long. And avoid sinking with your right shoulder. Spin it a little back, gaze up. You can also hold your left shin gently, not putting all the weight there, gently with your left hand. Good. Inhale in triangle pose. Exhale, look down, frame both the hands down, and step your left foot forward. Hands on your shins. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Now this time we're going to take a chair pose. So for the chair pose, please bend into your knees. Take your seat back. So it's like a squat position. Slight lift in your chest. Draw your belly in and stretch your arms up. Good job. Let's stay here. Inhale in chair. Exhale, we'll stand up. And with an inhale, we are going to take a back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. Release your arms to the sides. Great job. We're going to now transition to a few seated poses. Reach your arms up with an inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lengthen, flat back. Exhale, frame the hands down, step back to downward dog. Inhale in downward facing dog. Exhale, bring your knees down on the mat. We're going to cross through the ankles and we're going to bring ourselves seated. Extend the legs forward as you sit down and bring a gentle bend in the knees, a slight bend in the knees. Good. Then, once you're seated here, make sure that you are sitting upright so you're tall with the back body. Flex the feet, heels are down and toes are pointing up. Inhale, reach your arms up. With an exhale, hinge forward. Then catch your ankles or your feet, but don't catch your toes, okay? Or you can also catch your shins. Perhaps you can keep your hands down on the mat as well. Pull the chest forward a little bit. Then with an exhale, fold. So release the weight of your head. Let's take 3 breaths here. Inhale, lift your head up. Walk your hands back. Bring yourself in a seated pose, crossing the right foot in front of the left. Okay, in that seated pose, we're going to take an inhale, reach the arms up. And with an exhale, flipping the palms out, we'll dive forward with the hands. Come on your fingertips, then walk a little forward, pull the chest forward, and then gently soften the head and the neck. We're staying here for 5 cycles of breath. Inhale, lift your head up. Walk your hands back to the body. All right. And now from here, there's always an option to, if you do have the availability of time, to lie down on your back and take Shavasana. Or join me in this seated meditative pose. As we take a few seconds to place the hands together to our heart center, and we close the eyes to bring our gaze inward. And as we bring our gaze inward, we bring in a sense of gratitude for being able to practice today, being blessed with a body that can move on the mat and off the mat, being able to breathe, and having the space and the time to practice and to take care of ourselves. If you are in Shavasana, please continue to be there, or you can join me in this seated pose as we conclude the class with the hands to the heart center, and we bow with gratitude for showing up on the mat, finding time for self-care. We honor the self. We honor the practice. Thank you all for being a part of this practice. I'm going to see you in the next video soon. Take care. Bye.